everyone, it's Helen here. So here's another little pocket Pilates, and today we're going to use the squashy balls. So if you've got one of these balls, then dig it out. If you haven't, I really highly suggest you get one because they are fantastic. So we're going to lay ourselves down. I'm going to put the ball behind the back of the head, and we're just going to start off with a little bit of nice stuff. So take yourself into your normal lying position. Just let the arms rest and let the ball sit at the base of the skull. So it's not in your neck because you don't want your head dropping backwards, but like a pillow, it should just naturally drop your chin down a little. And what we want is we want that passive sense of length opening up the back of the neck. Now, because the head's raised, you may find your shoulders are a little bit away from the floor. So let those just drop back a touch. Just let them go. Arms just rest. We want to feel a slight heaviness without effort or force around the upper body. We want to feel the balance in the back of the pelvis, maintaining, as always, whatever the little curvature is of your low back today. And then feet and knees about hip distance. And you could just stay here if you've got a bit of a cranky neck and this just feels like it's opening up some space, and that's fine if you wanted to. You could just roll your head from side to side. Just be careful. Sometimes the hair gets trapped underneath the ball, and sometimes it slides out. So you might need to occasionally just nudge it back into place. So you could do a few of those. You could also do a few nods. So at this point, without lifting the head off the ball, we're just going to draw the chin deeply down to the throat and feel how that really lengthens the back of the neck. Might not stop at the neck, might move down towards the shoulders, maybe down the spine a little. And then as you breathe in, bring the head back to center, and then without pressing the head backwards, just lift the nose a little higher as if you were sniffing something lovely in the air. And then again, draw the chin deeply down towards the throat. Just let the air in the ball manipulate the neck. And you can do a few of those as well, depending on how they feel. You could also do little circles, little figure of eights, anything you feel that might just loosen off that neck. And just notice, having done a little bit of that, do your shoulders feel like they're any more dropped back? Do they feel a little less held? They probably still won't touch the floor, but you know, they might just feel a little less tense, a little less tight, and possibly you'll notice a little more openness across the front of the shoulders. Keeping the head just on the ball, lift the arms up as if you were holding a box between the hands. Shoulder blades nice and wide, and as you breathe out, soften down into those ribs as you take those arms back. Try not to bend your elbows, try to maintain a long arm. We're not going to take the hands to the floor and then all the way back up again. We don't need to take the hands to the floor when we're lying flat without anything behind the head, so we definitely don't need to try it now. All we're trying to do as we take the arms back is get a sense of opening up through the underarms and into the side ribs. And notice as your arms move back, do your arms stay the same distance apart? So you're holding a constant distance, or do the arms move out a little to accommodate tension or tightness in the shoulders? The wider you take your arms, the more easily you'll probably find that you get your arms to the floor, if that's what you're looking for, but you may well find it's a bit of a stretch. So don't overdo it. We're just looking to get a little bit of movement without lifting those ribs. Just do that one more time. But you can play around, as I say, with the distance between the hands. And then bring it all the way back down, and let's take the ball out from behind the head. So put the ball instead just in the inner thighs above the knees. Let your head rest down. It might feel like your head's a bit heavily far back now, but ensure that you've still got that gaze that comes up and slightly forward rather than looking behind. If necessary, put a little something behind the head. You're going to bring your feet and your knees ball distance apart. So ball distance apart, and add a little bit of an inner squeeze. Feel like you're squeezing from the whole of the inside edge of the leg, not just the point of contact. And from here, let's move into shoulder bridge. So imprinting that low back, pressing through those feet to roll along the spine to the base of the shoulder blades. Stay soft in the breastbone and the ribs, Breath in as you really reach out through the front of the knees, and then as you breathe out, lengthening that spine as you roll back down, and you're still keeping that constant tension against the ball. So you may well find as you roll up and roll down that the tension ebbs and flows, but try if you can to keep a constant inward tension, really focusing on pressing, as I say, the whole of the inside edge inwards as you roll up and continuing as you roll down. And notice as you do that how much more of an impact that makes on the natural lift of pelvic floor and the natural engagement around the glutes. We want to keep a nice, even, firm foot so we don't feel like we're driving ourselves backwards. Keep that squeeze in, focus on that slight inner edge, relax those shoulders and really lengthen that back. Let's do that one more time. So lengthening through, reaching out, little squeeze, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Breath in at the top of the movement, and then really feel yourself opening up that spine as you come all the way back down, imprinting that low back and then releasing and returning. Great, take the ball away. Might just want to give those knees a little bit of a roll from side to side, maybe turning the head to the opposite side, maybe. And then bring yourself all the way over to lie on your side. Now, take the ball to the outside edge of your lower leg, okay? And then you're gonna lay yourself down and you're gonna do whatever you need to do to make your head comfortable. So obviously the head wants to be in good alignment with the rest of the spine, but maybe you like a long arm, maybe like me, you prefer a folded arm, okay? I don't know why I've bent my lower leg. I want your lower leg straight, sorry. So lower leg straight with the outside, with the ball on the outside edge of the ankle, and then top leg stacked on top. So take a moment to find that sense of length, stacking shoulder over shoulder, hip over hip. Keep everything facing forward. And breathe out to lift top leg and breathe in to lower, okay? So we haven't got any support as such from the ball. The ball's going to be pretty unstable, so the lower leg may well want to move around a bit. Your job, your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to keep that lower leg still, to keep that sense of reaching away and really put the length into the top leg. And the longer you make that top leg, the easier it's going to be to maintain the length through the torso. And really lengthen it away. So reaching it away, and again, shoulder stays above shoulder, hip stays above hip. And it might not take very long when you really apply that sense of length, and when you can't rely on that lower leg, you feel that in the outside edge of your hip and your thigh. Okay, now keep the legs together, but keep the legs reaching away. Take your top arm through to the ceiling. So keeping length, opening up through the underarm. All you're going to do now is circle the arm around. Now the size of the circle you create will be the thing that wants to throw you off balance. So if you need to, in order to maintain your sense of balance, you might make your circle quite small. It might not be massive. But maybe as you get stronger, you find that you can make that circle a little bigger. The size of the circle isn't important. It's the ability to stay stable without being rigid. And if you haven't already, let's reverse that circle. That's lovely. Do a few of those, then bringing the arm all the way back down and rest. Lovely. Have a moment, do whatever it is you need to do, then take the ball, turn yourself over so you're lying on your tummy. So if you've done classes with me, you'll know I really love this little variation. I'm going to shuffle back a bit. Feet are out of shot, but they're not going to be involved anyway. And I do need some length in front of me, so I need to be able to not fall off my bench. I'm going to take my ball forward. I'm going to lengthen my arms and I'm going to bring my hands onto the ball. I like to go on the outside edges of my hands. You may prefer to go with a flat hand. Now, oh, I'm going to take my glasses off as well because they don't work when I do this. Okay, so keeping those shoulders wide, let the head just come between the biceps. And all I want you to do is to keep the head between the biceps, keep the arms long, but just now nudge the ball forward and back. We're not adding any lift, just nudge the ball forward and back. So you get a feeling of shrugging the shoulders up and shrugging the shoulders down, shrugging the shoulders up, shrugging the shoulders down. So that's all I want you to do. Just want you to get that feeling of sliding your shoulder blades across the back edge of the ribs. Shrugging up and shrugging down. And we're keeping that sense of length around the low back. So notice how your front edge of pelvis connects into the floor beneath you. Okay, once we're happy we've got a little bit of movement there, we're going to shrug the shoulders down. We're going to keep rolling the ball towards us. We're not going to bend the elbows, but we are going to roll up out to the front of the ribs, maintain that length in the neck, and then roll it forward again, lengthening through. Head comes between biceps and shoulders shrug back up. And again, so we shrug shoulders down. We want to peel from uppermost ribs first, down towards the lowest ribs, front edge of pelvis still connecting, and then back down. So it's quite specific to the area behind the back of the breastbone. So shoulders shrug down, front edge of pelvis stays down. Just watch the compression to the neck and really try and focus into the area, as I say, behind the breastbone, rather than just pushing down into the floor and lifting through the lumbar spine. Let's do a couple more of those. So be specific. Sometimes less is more. You might not even come too high. You might stop here right in your lowest ribs. Some of you might be able to come just a little bit further, almost off the lowest ribs, and then back down again. One more of those. And then back down and rest. And you can just pop your head back onto the hands for a moment or two, maybe give those shoulders a little bit of a shrug out, maybe rock the hips a little, and then perhaps giving your back a little stretch on the way over to lying on the other side. So I'm going to turn around. You might just turn onto your other side, but I'm going to turn around. And once again, with a long leg this time, I'm going to put the ball underneath the outside edge of my lower ankle. I'll lengthen my body through. I like to work with a folded arm because it suits my neck better. Sometimes I might use a little cushion, and then top leg stacked on lower leg as I've got top shoulder stacked on lower shoulder. Hand just comes down the side of the body. I'm going to adjust the ball a fraction. There you go. All right, so think about the alignment of the head. Your head shouldn't be pressed forward, looking at the space all the way down the front edge of the body. As in standing, your gaze should be somewhat outwards. All right, so from here, lengthen, 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 and lift. And keep lengthening as you lift. So again, keeping that sense of reaching out and knowing that you can't actually rely on the ball for any stability. So we're having to work a little harder just to try and maintain the stillness of that pelvis, the stillness of the torso. That's it, keep lengthening through. And again, you may find that when you really focus in on the length and the openness of the movement, it doesn't take too long before you start to feel this in the outside of hips and thighs, which is where we're targeting. We're targeting all these stabilizing muscles of the outer edge of the hip and the thigh. This is going to be really valuable in terms of stability and balance. So you could do a few more of those if you wanted to, just carry on for a little bit longer if you want to. Otherwise, you bring those legs together, maintaining that feeling of length, and then take that top arm through to the ceiling. So you open up underneath the underarms. You really want to reach in opposition now, so crown of head reaching from feet, feet from crown of head, arm reaching to the ceiling above you, and you start to circle. And again, just notice how the weight in that arm is the thing that wants to pull you off balance. Now, if you get to a point where this feels super easy, then all you need to do is add a little hand weight, and I promise you it won't be super easy for long. So circling, size of the circle, not important. The stillness of everywhere else is. Notice how the legs might want to roll around. Notice if there's any change into the supporting arm. Take that circle the other way. Maintaining that sense of length through the neck, through the torso, through the legs. You may find one side is a little bit more balanced than the other, and then bring the arm all the way down, bring those legs in, have a moment and rub whatever needs rubbing. And then when you're ready, press yourselves up. And there you go. Another quick pocket Pilates, just a little bit of a work with the ball. We'll definitely be doing more work with the ball, and as I say, if you don't have one, I would definitely get one because they're really, really lovely to work with. All right, I will speak to you again soon. Bye.